Hello everyone, welcome to another daily Devo. We are continuing in the book of 1 Corinthians. We're in chapter 14 verses 1 through 25. And let me tell you, when I looked at what I was going to be discussing with you guys today, I was a little hesitant. We are talking about prophecy and the gift of tongues, and that is something that can be kind of controversial between churches and how people view it, and what they do with it, and do they stay away from it, how do they interpret it, that type of thing. But Paul lays it out in here, and he's very specific on what each one means and what we should do with each gift that we have. And actually, he does say what he prefers and what he doesn't prefer for people when they're sharing with others around them. I encourage you to go and read it, verses 1 through 25. Don't shy away from it because of that topic of speaking in tongues or prophecy. Paul's pretty specific. The gift of prophecy is teaching. When you are teaching others, you have that gift. When you have the gift of prophecy, it edifies others. So when I say edify, it encourages others. It teaches others. It includes those around you in your learning process. And then he goes and talks about speaking in tongues and how when you're speaking in tongues, it's more of an in-between you and God when you're speaking in tongues. And if there's an interpretation that comes into your heart for what you're speaking about, don't keep that interpretation to yourself. Share it with those who are around you, because then it will edify the whole church body, just like prophecy does. So he lays out the two, prophesying and teaching and speaking in tongues. One's more for yourself, speaking in tongues between you and God. Unless there's an interpretation, then it should be shared with others. But prophesying, that's teaching. That's sharing what you're learning, what you're struggling with, what God is showing you to teach others. That's what the prophets did in the Old Testament. They took what God was telling them and shared it with those who God wanted them to share it with. So when you're thinking of prophecy and speaking in tongues, don't be scared off by those terms. Be encouraged by those terms. Paul lays it out. He encourages us to prophesy. He encourages us to have that dialogue with God. And then if that dialogue needs that interpretation and has it, share it with other people so that you can encourage them. So when you're reading through this, I just really encourage you to keep an open mind and to really look at the logical way that Paul is explaining these two spiritual gifts. And I truly believe that they are spiritual gifts, and that people are stronger at one versus the other, and that we all have the ability to teach and encourage each other, and we all have the ability to have dialogue between God and ourselves and listen in our hearts what he's trying to tell us, so that we can then go and share it with other people if there's a message he wants to share with someone specifically, or maybe a group of people. So I encourage you to take what you read today in 1 Corinthians 14 and think about how you're prophesying or teaching and what your inner dialogue between you and God is, and maybe what needs to be shared with others. Thanks for joining me today.